In this video and the future videos that we'll put up, we'll head back into the Riverland and have a look at the flooding as it now reaches its peak, and if it hasn't reached the peak, it's very close, or it may even be starting to recede. So as we go back here, we head to Morgan. That'll be our first port of call. From Morgan, we'll head towards Barmera and show you this levee here that they've put up on the road to keep the water back from the road itself. Our next stop will be Lock 2, where we'll show you how high the water is up over the top of the lock. From Lock 2, we head in towards the ferry, which is now closed at Waikerie, and show you around Waikerie. From Waikerie, we head to the Overland Corner Hotel and show you how the hotel is surviving. From Overland Corner, we go to Barmera and have a look at the beautiful Lake Bonnie. From here, we head towards the Kingston on the Murray area and show you the flooding that's there between the Kingston Bridge and Barmera itself. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The water levels in the Murray have certainly come up since our last visit up here. And Morgan itself was very pretty to look at this time. The water's come right up. Unfortunately, it's covered all the lawn area here, but it certainly was a picture to look at. Back in March 2022, the lawn area was certainly green and lush, but no doubt after the water goes back down to its normal pool level, the green will soon come back. The trees on the right hand side as the drone flies over now, that's the lawn area, obviously all covered in water, but it's certainly very pretty with no wind and the reflections on the water. Due to such a high river level, the ferry is no longer operating, and there to the right of the screen is the caravan park, and you can see the levee bank that's been put up there to assist with keeping the water out of the caravan park. So much water about now, it really makes you wonder where it all come from. These shacks here all built up on stilts, and at this stage not feeling the effects or the direct effects of water inside the homes, so all looking good for these people with the flood level nearly ready to start dropping down. And here we are in March 2022 as the water was slowly creeping up. We're now coming in onto the wharf at Morgan, and when you see the normal pool level and you look up at the top of the wharf, same when you're in Echuca in Victoria, you really wonder why they build them so high until you see the situations that we're now in with the flooding, and it's not very high at all for boats or vessels if they wanted to berth here and unload their cargoes many years ago. And here we are in March 2022, and you can see how high up it is from the water level there. From Morgan we made our way towards Barmera, and not very far out of Morgan on that road they've got this bypass here, and don't quote me, but I think it's Burra Creek that's actually shown here in the picture now, and that's the one that's flooding, so they're holding the water back from the road so people can continue to use this road. As with so many ferries out, it would be a real issue if the road was shut. Looking at the road here now, you can see the levee bank that they've put up to keep the water back from the road. Lock number 2 was closed to motor vehicle traffic, but you were able to walk down to the lock and view the lock from there. Just you couldn't take your vehicle down there if you wanted to drive, that was all. With the current water level, you can see there in the distance, in amongst the trees, is the shelter shed there for the picnic area, and it's nearly up to the roof. And as we come around here to the left hand side of the screen very shortly, just coming into view right about now, is the 1956 flood level, so it's nowhere near that just yet. Now looking downstream from Lock 2, and you can see Lock 2 there on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and downstream is back towards Morgan. This is now looking at Lock 2 back in March 2022, when it would have been operating under normal pool level. This video footage was recorded on Sunday the 1st of January 2023, and unfortunately it was Thursday night at 11 PM on the previous week that they closed the Waikerie ferry, and you can see here where the water's starting to come up, and you can only just squeeze past the side of it to go on the road back towards Barmera as we're coming down towards the ferry entry road now, and that entry road to the ferry has been shut. And once you see the drone up in there very shortly, you'll see why. We were hoping that we'd beat the rising water and still be able to get across on the ferry, and then we could have done a little bit more filming on here, because Waikerie is one place that we do go up there camping along the river, so we have got some fond memories up there. But here we are, we're flying in from the northern side of the river across the flooded area, and here's the main channel of the river coming up now. As the drone moves downstream, you can see the roofs there to the bottom left corner of the screen just going out of sight. That is, I'm assuming, is shelter sheds there for the picnic area. And here's the caravan park now coming up on the left with its levee bank around it to keep the water out of that park. And further downstream, we're now looking at the houseboats. Now, the only way that you can get into these houseboats now with the river level so high is by small dinghy. If you can hold the picture of all this water in your mind, we'll now show on a previous trip up there that we did in August 2021 of what the normal pool level's like. Now here's the houseboats there to the right, tied up to the bank, and that's what you would normally expect to see, not what you're looking at the present time here now. From what I've heard on social media, the Overland Corner Hotel has been closed off to all public, and that's for the safety of the public themselves and the preservation of the levee bank that's been risen there to save the hotel from water entry. So if you happen to go down to places like this, please don't go on levee banks. They're there for a purpose and they're not to be disturbed in any way. At the present time, with the River Murray at its peak or near its peak here, there's no water entry into the area around the Overland Corner Hotel at all, so let's hope that it stays that way and the hotel survives this event. Barmera's Lake Bonnie, always a pretty location to visit, and today was no exception with no wind. The water was absolutely flat. It's just unfortunate that with the lake being shut off to the main river flow that it's suffered with a bit of water condition, but no doubt in time that'll all change. From Lake Bonnie we made our way out to Kingston on the Murray area, and we went out as far or just short of the Kingston Bridge, and from there we filmed back towards Barmera. It's a very, very pretty drive, and all the way there's water on both sides of the road. If you're able to travel towards Riverland and have a look at this flood event at the moment that we're going through, then this area here would certainly be one place that you would have to visit. It's an easy run from Adelaide. It's all dry road. There's no river crossings other than main highway bridges, so you're not going to get stranded anywhere, and it's a very, very pretty area to look at with that. As mentioned earlier, water both sides of the road for such a long distance. It's a very pretty sight to see. It's something that you've got to see to believe that can be actually happening. I don't know whether they would actually be able to say. I guess they would with the way scientists work and so on, but it would be very interesting to hear how many litres, gigalitres, megalitres, call it what you like, of water has moved down through the river system and flooded out into areas from when it started to when it finally gets down to the Murray mouth. It must be some unbelievable amount. Well, this brings us to the end of this video, but in a couple of days' time we'll be posting up another video on our channel, and that will continue the journey. In part 6 we'll look at the flooding around Berry. We'll have a look at the water at Lyrup Flats, and from there we'll move on to Renmark. From Renmark we'll look at Longstorm, and then we'll have a look at Swan Reach, plus a few other locations. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, click on the subscribe button, and once you've done that, change the bell notification to all. That way every time that we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.